Hey, Guru Nation! Welcome to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. This is Dan Sfera. I've got Dr. Edgy Shobawale on here. She is also known as the Fly Foot Doctor. Okay, for those on Instagram and on TikTok, which
Yeah.
we can spend forever talking about TikTok. I have mixed feelings about it, but you're big on there, and I was active on there. But yeah, anyways, like the stuff you put on Instagram from TikTok is so funny but good. You know, we always talk about how physicians, and by the way, Dr. Show, as she's known, or the Fly Foot Doctor, is also a board certified podiatrist and
Yeah.
a clinical researcher. So she's doing research studies as well, or at least startup, like a startup research company. And so we're going to talk a lot about this. But first of all, thank you very much for coming on, Doctor. How's it going?
Having me. I'm great. I'm doing great. I started watching you, Dan, way before we ever even knew each other. Like, I have been stalking you on YouTube, actually. I literally had watched all of your videos when I wanted to start this, and then I got to talk to you, and it was almost like, I'm talking to the Dan Sparrow.
I think I
Because
remember that you were asking about podiatry studies and things like that.
Yep, definitely. So, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everything you do. You're super awesome in this field. Like, you're like the reference god of clinical trials out there. So,
Thank
thank
you,
you for
thank
your
you,
knowledge. Just give away. I mean, that's priceless work that you do on YouTube and on Instagram. Like this, it's amazing. So,
thank
thanks for
you.
having me.
Thank you too. I mean, look, you're doing it like you're being so educational and informative and fun at the same time with health, foot health, but also just regular health. I mean, for anyone not following the Fly Foot Doctor, we're gonna put links underneath. You should follow her on Instagram as well. So we'll put links underneath. But like, tell us a little bit about yourself, Doctor Show. How'd you get started? In medicine and then in research? Like, what made you want to get into clinical research?
Okay, so of course, like you said, I'm a podiatrist, so foot and ankle. So I practice in Houston, Texas. Went to residency here in Houston, Texas. Went to podiatry school in Philadelphia. What else? College in Minnesota. So only place I haven't touched is the West Coast. That's essentially my background, like you said, board certified ankle doctor and surgeon. And I actually heard about clinical trials from a friend of mine. It's funny how things work. Like about 2 years ago or so, she had casually mentioned it because she was a CRA at the time, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think it applied to podiatry. And I was like, what is this stuff you're doing? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then for some reason, I don't remember what it was, but something clicked again. Either she was the one who reminded me of it, and then a cousin of mine was trying to get into the industry and then said, hey, watch this guy on YouTube if you want to know anything about clinical trials. And this guy was Dan Sfera. Now,
That's
I
cool.
remember trying to figure out how to pronounce it, and then I started watching it, and so I went back to the first lady who told me about it, and I said, hey, look at, oh, I remember what it was. There was a Bunyan study. There was a Bunyan study, and the study was for pain medicine to help after bunion surgeries. And I must have just posted something about bunions, and that the first girl then circled back again and said, hey, you do bunions? There's a study out here, and I've been telling you about this. And that's when I was like, wait, podiatry can be involved in this? Or she was like, yeah, you can do pretty much most things, as long as you have, like a PI or a sub-I. And she started mentioning all these acronyms, and I'm like, hold on, wait, what? So, and then I, educated myself a little bit, with you guys, with your help. I'm telling you, seriously, with your help on YouTube. And that's kind of how I got into this and really, dragged my husband along and got him into this too, and we kind of are here now.
I know we're working with you. Like, I want to get your honest assessment of podiatry because I remember when you joined, I said it might be tough to get you studies like outside of podiatry initially. I think later, as you start building experience, you can get, pretty much any study you want if you have the right sub Is, or maybe you'll be the sub I. But it's not. It hasn't been easy, right? Like it hasn't been as fast as you thought it would be as far as getting a study. What have been your experiences with that?
Yes, I remember August of last year. I was so excited because I think that was when I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And you had already kind of, or like the group, your business had already kind of in the videos have said, hey, be patient. But then some people, will get a lucky break and get, their study pretty early. And so, of course, a little arrogant of me to think I might be that one to get the lucky break. But no, I'm the norm, which is no. It's been tough to get a podiatry study, but currently we're actually sort of trying on the like we've had our not is it PSB the first one we've had our
Oh,
first
good.
meeting
Site selection
with them.
visit.
Yeah, so yes, site selection visit, and it was because as much as I mean, you one thing I didn't realize, and that was all me, was even though I'm working with you guys, we also had to do the work too, which was not only waiting on your company to help source studies, also apply and see what would happen, and so it was one of those where we kind of reached out, and luckily enough, it's for a diabetic foot wound, so we're kind of
Wow.
that a lot. It's a huge part of my practice. And on my business page, which is Daniil Foot and Ankle Center, which might be a little gory because I have a lot of wounds there. It's the same on Instagram and YouTube. So I have a lot of wounds and stuff. So I deal with stuff like that, which is graft, skin graft, stuff like that, which for it to be FDA approved, they definitely need, research studies and things like that. So hopefully we get selected for that. So that's what we have going on. But in general, yes, it has been tough for podiatry. But another thing I have learned from having a meeting with you and Chris was that I was essentially looking for a lot of studies that perhaps I would be best to be the sub-I in and not the PI. So a lesson that you have taught and somehow went through here and came out of here was you need to get your PIs. So we were getting, one of your staff members was actually getting us studies that they would be, maybe a little interested, but then we wouldn't have the appropriate PI for it.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, we had to kind of take a few steps back and start trying to source PIs, which has not been the easiest thing to do. But we're optimistic, and we'll see how things go. And now we're also learning to kind of figure out what study I could definitely be a PI for that is not just podiatry related.
All the beauty is all you need is that one study because they're relatively good budgets, and just thinking about that foot wound study for diabetic foot wound study, those kind of budgets like are gonna be better than average.
Really?
Yeah, we did a diabetic neuropathy study a few years ago. Very good budget. So I'm thinking this one's gonna be like same, and you're perfect for that because you're a podiatrist. You treat these patients all the time. So I think getting that first study under your belt is gonna open it up for a lot more studies outside of podiatry, but it's also good to have the other PIs, family practice. I'm sure you have a lot of family practice that refer to you, and maybe you refer back to them. So I think like having that kind of synergy with a community family practice doctor in your area can help you get a lot of the studies. But I'm glad you've been following up on the leads because really the following up is important too. Like you can still get a study if you don't follow up, but if you follow up, you're gonna get more. It's just like a
Yeah.
numbers game. Especially
And
when you're
that,
the doctor and you're following up. Nobody does that. They usually have their coordinator or their assistant follow up or a business development person. But when you're the doctor following up, like they see that okay, this person's interested.
yeah. I think for sure. I'm pretty. Maybe I don't know if I have a lot of time on my hand, but I'm pretty involved in all of the things that I do, which clinical research, my clinic, growing social media, like you see, and then of course everything else in life. So, I mean, I try to. Of course, I can only do so much. I wish I could even give them a call. I feel like if I could talk to somebody on the phone, it would be better. I did some cold calls, but
That's good. It'll
I
work.
I'm pretty optimistic, and hopefully I can get some dermatology studies because the skin's everywhere. Even some like high blood pressure studies and things, which I think I heard are very competitive. But just general studies, like you said, for like family practice, internal medicine docs, because I have some colleagues
Yeah.
around that do.
Matters. And then your TikTok and Instagram is amazing. Like you're a really good dancer. You do these things. I mean, I can't even explain. I'm not doing it justice if I try to explain it. But maybe in the bottom here, I'll have a video of an example of one of
Oh,
your TikToks. I'll point to it right now, and she's dancing and doing something. But it like I actually watch them. Like I don't usually watch people's stuff on Instagram, but yours I watch. It's always something new. It's interesting, and I'm always intrigued by physicians who learn how to use social media in creative ways. And I think you've done that. I mean, what kind of made you want to do that?
so the main thing is, aside from being a physician, the main thing that I am is a human being. I'm a person. What I do is my job, is my career, but that's not all that I am. I like to dance. I like to teach people. One of my passions is actually encouraging not that young people, but young girls specifically, to know that they can go into a challenging career and still have a life. Um, so, like I may share this on my social media or any one of the platforms. When I started, one of my things was, am I going to be able to have a family and still do the things I love and still be my fun, carefree person without being this uptight doctor? And social media, especially TikTok, once TikTok came out, it was over. I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect platform. I mean, I hear they may be taking it away, and Instagram may bring reels. As long as there's something I can do, which is dance, which I love to do, however bad or however good I am at it, and still show people that you can do it. You can still be educated. You can still be smart. You can still be brilliant, and you can still have fun and not lose yourself in all of the whatever that comes with that. Then I feel like I'm doing the job. So that was what made me just go, into it and try to do it as much as I can.
Yeah, no, you're doing a great job on that. I mean, maybe now with TikTok not gonna be banned because they're saying they're gonna move to the United States. So maybe I need to bring mine back and start posting on there again. But your TikTok blew up. Like I've been following you since the early days, which was like 9 months ago. I mean, not that long ago, and
Yeah,
your account just grew up, and so did your Instagram because you're sharing the same videos basically on your Instagram.
it did. I think I'm learning the algorithm. It's just crazy. So I'm learning it, and so I think I had one video where I talked about corns and calluses, and it just took off. And
Wow.
they out a wave. So riding the wave of social media, and I don't for my Instagram. I haven't hit that wave yet, but I hit it a few times on TikTok, and each time I hit it, I'm like, okay, I have to write it. It's now. So I'll write it, and then it dies down, and then I hit another wave, and I'm like, okay, I write. And so when that wave comes, I just push out videos like crazy. I don't even post everything from my TikTok on my Instagram. Like I post maybe 70, 80%, but some of them I'm like, nah, I'll just leave it on TikTok. And
You post like the
but
good ones, right? Like the ones that a lot of people like.
well, not even, yeah, things that I think that are very, academic or funny, or if I think I've done this really awesome dance move, or it's really cool, then I'll post it.
I'll put that underneath. You'll be watching it right now. Dr. Shobawala dancing on TikTok. That's
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
What's your goal? Like you have a private practice, you're starting research, you're working in hospitals. Like what is your goal long term? Do you want to continue doing all of those or do you see yourself transitioning more into clinical research full time or are you always going to keep like private practice as well?
I I love what I do, so I really like surgery. I love, for helping people surgically. I also like clinics. So if I could look at what my future would be and I could predict it or draw it out, I would love to do a mixture of both. But even more clinical research, because especially stuff like this wound care stuff where I literally get to still do surgery, maybe use if it's an equipment or if it's a graft or if it's a perform this procedure, we're going to see if you use this hardware, it gets better or you get better, whatever it is. If it's medication, so I still definitely want to be in practice, for a while, but I really enjoy the thought of being part of not an invention, but just something just coming up to be.
Hmm.
And so if there's this medicine, we've tried it for this, and now we're going to try it for this ailment. And to be part of that, it's kind of, a little bit of,
That's cool.
okay, I was part of helping to get that, approved, and now it's helping millions of people. So it's exciting to be able to do that. So I think ultimately, half and half.
I think I have an
Um,
idea for that too. Somebody's asking, what is her Instagram handle? The Fly Foot Doctor, right?
yes, the fly for doctor.
Just look it up. I think underscore anywhere, or just the.
Or so the underscore fly underscore foot underscore doctor.
There you go. Go follow. What would be a good job in the field? Okay, I'll answer that one. So the idea for so I think what you can do if you start doing a lot of podiatry studies, or at least just a good amount, because podiatry is small, so you're gonna end up knowing. Like if you do 5 studies, you're gonna end up knowing like most of the industry when it comes to like who's doing what for podiatry. I think you can get into like if you start networking with these sponsors, you can get into investigator initiated trials in addition to the studies you're doing at your site that are industry sponsored. You can like do your own study in collaboration with a pharma or a biotech that you have a good relationship with. Like I would talk to your sales reps because I know they probably come all the time, bring you sandwiches. Well, I don't know about now. Do they still do that now with COVID?
They ask for permission and let us know, and sometimes they don't come. They just send like the restaurant
Oh, even better.
to.
You don't come, just bring the food.
We don't ask for it. They just
Ah.
say, we kind of, I guess it's mind share, so you remember them and they keep themselves because you're not seeing them now, but now you go, oh, this rep sent something,
That's
so now
good.
they're
That's
kind of
good.
in.
Well, talk to
But
every single rep that talks to you, like in your Rolodex or whatever people use now, and then ask them who is your scientific liaison, who is your medical liaison. You want to meet with those people because those are the bridge. Those are usually pharmacists, right? So they're the bridge between research and sales. They're also the same ones that will hire doctors to do speaking presentations for other doctors. So you want to meet with these medical liaisons in your area. Every territory has their own and every company has their own. And then they're going to come visit your site. You tell them you do research. You also prescribe a lot. And then those are the people that are going to help you develop research, and maybe those are the people that you can actually collaborate on your own study. Because when you do industry sponsored studies, you don't get publishing rights, right? You just get paid for doing the work. But when you do your own study, you get part of the publishing rights. And then if that IP ends up getting approved, you might, if you negotiate it, you have some ownership in that too. So there's a lot that you can actually do with being a
wow,
PI.
I didn't even think of that because I mean, for instance, one of the things that even most doctors and dermatologists struggle with is just throwing something that comes to mind is like toenail fungus, for instance.
Hmm.
I mean, that's something. I mean, we have ways to treat it, but if there could be multiple options out there, I mean, that's something that I would definitely be, love to maybe even start. I mean,
Yeah.
I had a patient, I think I posted it on my Danielle page, psoriasis, and and on my TikTok, and a lot of people are like, oh, what did you use? What did you use? Because looking at it, you won't even know it's psoriasis. But some stuff like that, where I'm sure thousands of pharmaceutical companies would be, dying to produce something or work with something to help with that. That'd be cool. I'll definitely look into that.
Start talking to those sales reps and say, hey, like it's cool, keep bringing the sandwiches, but let me network with your medical liaison. First of all, they'd be happy to do that. Second of all, the medical liaisons are looking for people like you. They just don't know that you're doing research. Like with our practice, when we first started research, we were private practice. The reps kept coming, the doctors kept prescribing. They had no clue we did research until like 5 years later when somebody told me, hey, meet the medical liaisons. This is what you got to do. And then they'll come, do a site tour, and then they'll put you on the list for like future studies that would be appropriate for you and for them.
So how long between putting on that list? Because I've gotten on this list of a bunch of I guess pharmas, and they send you an email, ask you to put your information there, and I always wonder like, okay, so what year are they going to get back to us?
It could be years. It could be years. Like it could be months, but that's rare. Months would be on clinicaltrials.gov, like the leads we're getting you from Julie and Chris. That's months. Years is like when you're developing these relationships with these liaisons. So, like I interviewed yesterday a guy from a biotech. He's like a medical director for psychiatry. So during the interview and after, I was trying to sell him on our sites. Like after we stopped recording, I started selling him on, hey, we have psychiatric sites, this and that. So he's like, okay, send me the info. We're starting the first one in March 2021, which right now is July. So that's actually good. To me, that's quick. But like clinicaltrials.gov would be like 3 months, 4 months. This is going to be like 9 months. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 24 months. But the more you do it, because think of all the drug companies out there, right? The more you do it, like if you're just on that list for all of them and you actually have a relationship with a liaison, and maybe if they ask you to speak, I don't know if they're still doing that with speaking now with COVID. Maybe it's virtual, but like
Yeah, it's virtual.
it's
Because I got
virtual.
to do that for wound graft, another
Do it.
company that I use, and I was like, "Oh, are you sure?"
You
he
should.
was like, he was like, "You've used a lot of this product. We've seen good results." He's like, "You should," and I take good pictures of it, just for the patient's record, and with their consent, of course. And so he approached me about it, and I was like, "Okay, sure, I guess."
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
tell them sure. And then also, do you guys do research? Because I do research. Come tour my site one day. And then they're going to send somebody to tour your site. They're going to talk about what they have in the pipeline. They want to keep the speakers happy. Matter of fact, this is what called a key opinion leader when they speak, prescribe, and either teach or do research. Like this is a KOL, key opinion leader. So that should be the goal for you if you want to do like the IP version of PI work.
yeah, I want to talk to them about research because I do use the product, and they want me to speak. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely
They
think
probably
about
don't
that.
even know you do research. Like they're not going to ask you, because most doctors don't, and they don't want to complicate things. Like they're there to get you to speak. But like, yeah, if like they don't offer research because they don't want to confuse you. If you're already a speaker, they don't want to like give you different signals. Like they just want to keep you as a speaker. But if you let them know, hey, I also do research. I want to do research with you, and then I could speak more about it. That's kind of how it works. That happened with one of my psychiatrists I work with over the years, and sponsors love him. And honestly, he's like an average PI. I mean, he's too busy to be like a really good PI, but people love him because he's a key opinion leader.
That's a good thing you just asked me. So, or you just mentioned. So let me ask you, what is a good PI? What consists or constitutes a good PI?
Somebody like, well, I could already tell it would be you. I mean, somebody who would meet. The fact that you're emailing follow-ups to sponsors shows that you're involved. So somebody who meets with the monitor every single time they're there, even if it's 5 minutes, listens to what the monitors are saying about, hey, these are your action items, these are recommendations we have for you. And then really it's having good patient safety oversight, like knowing what's going on with your patients. Even our PIs do this well, but they don't do the monitoring, meeting with the monitors well. They just kind of brush them off. But like, so that would make a good monitor. A good PI is like meeting with the monitors in addition to the safety oversight, just to like solve problems. Because some KOLs, and ours are not this bad. Ours are just average. But there are some, especially at large academic centers, where they could care less because they know they're key opinion leaders and they know they're going to keep getting more studies. So they don't even meet with monitors, right? They're like, no, we're not going to meet. Any problems, let my assistant know. And then they have a culture in those places where basically things don't really get done. There are good PIs there too, but for the most part, that's the issue with academic centers. So in my opinion, that's what would make a good PI, is someone that meets with the monitors, answers their questions, listens to what the monitor is recommending, and has oversight over their staff and, of course, the patients, like the safety aspects.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Good
Eas-
to know.
Easier said than done, but I think you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that since for the most part, most of the studies will be where I spend a lot of my time anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
thankfully our facility is, spacious enough to accommodate both clinic and, you know, research studies and things. So hopefully, I mean, and I have like my doors always open. So hopefully it shouldn't be an issue where any question, things like that, they should be able to, assist me or access me, I should say, and
Yeah.
ask me. So
They
we'll
will love
see.
you. The underscore fly underscore foot underscore doctor. The fly foot doctor. That's the username. They
Yeah.
keep asking. You go, come on, we're gonna tag her in this. Don't worry. Okay. So on the replay on Instagram, you'll have it tagged. It'll be on IG Watch, and then it'll be on YouTube and the podcast. Links in the show notes. What should I link to? Your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok? Can you even link to TikTok?
I don't know if you can link to TikTok. You can link to my Instagram and YouTube, and it's the same name, the Fly for Doctor on YouTube and the Fly for Doctor, but with the underscore on Instagram. I try to keep it uniform. Hopefully, one day I don't have to change this. The same name everywhere.
No, keep it going. Keep it good. It's only a matter of time before that really takes off. And hopefully, TikTok, for your case, hopefully it doesn't get banned because you've built a good following on there.
I, hopefully it doesn't. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, I'm in general. So a little background. I'm Nigerian. I was born there, grew up there for a little bit to my teenage years, and then immigrated here. When you come from Nigeria, I mean, I didn't grow up in poverty or anything like that, but I saw it. So, I didn't have to experience it personally, but I had people who experienced it who I was close to and friends with. Most people grow up like that, you tend to not let situations really phase you that much. What I mean by that is things will always go great, things will always go bad. But regardless, we're always going to keep going. We're not going to give up and stop living, right? We're going to find a way to keep going. So my philosophy really is whatever the situation is, whatever anyone does, whatever they say it's going to happen tomorrow, corona or no corona, we just learn to be adaptable, figure out how to make it work. Because in this situation that we are with COVID, some people are killing it somehow. Some people are really suffering. I mean, my business took a hit. Most people's businesses took hits. But some people are also really benefiting off of this somehow. So my philosophy is it doesn't matter what happens, just find a way to keep moving, find a way to keep going, find another route, find another alternative. Maybe tougher, maybe harder, but just keep going. You can go, you will go, and just never give up.
Shout out to all the Nigerian peeps out there. No wahala from Dan and
Yeah.
Dr. Show. Okay. Lagos. I still got to go to Lagos. I keep getting told I need to go. So one of these days.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Make sure you have a tour guide, but it's absolutely amazing. You're going to have the best time. If you have the right guide, you won't want to come back. Ask Cardi B.
Oh, she went? She went recently?
Went Christmas, and it was a blast. Of course, I stalked her stories. It was
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, shout out to all the
Yes.
Nigerians. Thank you very much, Dr. Shobawala, for coming on. We're going to link to all her stuff in the show notes. And then you got to follow because you're going to be entertained, educated, and, everything else. And you're going to learn, for those of you guys on Patreon, all right, you're going to learn how to build your personal brand. You don't have to dance. Not everyone can dance like Dr. Show. You know, I don't dance. I'm on TikTok. I don't dance. But, you know, there's ways to build your brand. So just look at Dr. Show as an example. Also, a researcher, follow her career. And let's do more interviews, Dr. Show. Like, let's do one 6 months. Let's see if you get a study. And then we'll kind of interview you and see how it's going and all that stuff.
Sure, for sure. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And I have to say, I mean, Julie, and Chris, and you, I mean, you guys have just figured out who the strengths, everyone's strength, and you're the, face, and your teaching style, I don't know how to explain it. You like, I told you I watched all of your videos on YouTube. Really, it's really informative, and it's not in an aggressive, oh, you've got to do this. Like, even when you're talking about the downsides of anything, it's still in a hopeful, well, it could still be there, like the positive. So that's really good, and I really appreciate you for that. Like, it's really an honor to be on your page right now. It really is, to think that this is someone I used to look up to, and now I'm on your platform. I'm really, really honored.
That's
Thank you so
crazy. The honor is mine, but I appreciate it very much. And yeah, we're gonna watch your career. I mean, we're gonna keep doing this, keep getting the studies. You're gonna keep following up. When you get that investigator-initiated studies, and you need a CRO to help you, guess who's here? Okay, I can help you. I'm the CRO. We're actually doing that for a few other doctors right now, so we're doing that as well. So, Dr. Show, I'm very excited for you, and I'm glad to see how things. I will be glad to see how things shape out over the next few months for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And thanks for always being there to just, shoot questions and answer, however, in whatever form. I appreciate your
Anytime. I'll get my TikTok back. That'll be easier for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching on Instagram. Go follow. And let's end the Instagram. Save and download. Okay, we're good. Thank you very much, Dr. Show. Appreciate it.
You. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.